Do we have to be on YouTube?
Mm-hmm.
Do we have to be on TV?
All right, we should be good to go. I'm gonna check it.
Okay, we ready? Okay. Good evening. Welcome to the special meeting for Monday, November 24th, 2025 of the zoning appeal board. Andy,
As a recipient of federal funds and in support of Dearborn County's efforts to ensure non-discrimination and equal access to all citizens, the county gathers statistical data regarding participants in county activities. Therefore, we have provided a voluntary Title VI public involvement survey at this meeting. You are not required to complete this survey. However, the form is anonymous and will be solely for the purpose of monitoring our compliance with Title VI and ADA.
okay, thank you, Andy. Before we get started, of course, we'll guess the applicant's the only one here. We'll just silence your cell phones if anybody has one. And let's do the pledge of allegiance right now. All stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Before we get started tonight, I'll just note that we do have Alan Miller and Pete Johns here tonight as alternate members. They were appointed pursuant to 36-7-4-907 subsection A, as well as section 300 subsection 1D of the zoning ordinance. Alan is the alternate member for Ruth Ann, so the commissioner might be an alternate member, and Pete is Andrea Shooter's alternate member. I will say, if there's time, you may want to talk about your December meeting, because I know Andrea said she might not be there, and Ruth Ann said she had a conflict on one of the items.
Okay,
Pete's not able to do December, but I did have the commissioners name Alan as the alternate member for the remainder of 2025.
okay,
And in case we needed to use him on December, so if Andrea's not there in December and we've got one item, Ruth Ann has a conflict on that one item, we'd only have 3 people, so maybe we could do that one at the beginning of the meeting. Alan could be there for it, we would at least have 4 members, and then Ruth Ann
Okay.
could sit in for the rest of the meeting. So
okay, let me ask you this question. So if either anybody else like did and Russell, they'll one of them will take our place. Or it has to be whoever appointed them.
no, so the commissioners have appointed Alan as Ruth Ann's alternate member for the remainder of the year.
Why?
I don't know if it's specific to the member that they're appointed to replace, but I mean, it's obviously specific to the board, but that is how the motion was worded also.
Okay, I guess that was my question, because otherwise you'd have to have 5 alternates.
Right,
So as long as,
and that's a hard thing to do. I worked with Nicole and we asked Pete and Alan to do it because Pete handles planning and zoning for us in Rising Sun, and Alan was previously city attorney in Aurora, so he has experience with planning and zoning. I didn't want to just grab somebody off the street and say, hey, you want to go hear a zoning case? I don't think they'd want us to do that either, so.
yeah,
I tried to find some people that had some experience, but just like I said, December meeting, we may use Alan's services again for that one item.
so then will Ruth Ann be here for the rest of them?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess that was my question. Okay, roll call. Pete, would you start?
Pete Johns.
Alan Miller.
Phil Darling?
Mark Lehman.
Okay. We don't have anything else going on down there. We have new business. The request is for development standard variance for reduction in front yard building setback. The applicant owner is Kelly Probst. The site location is 8434 Old State Route 350. The township is Hogan. The zoning is agriculture homestead, and the size of the lot is 0.72 plus or minus acres.
That was the,
Please.
the
May I
name.
address you? My name is Kelsey, not Kelly.
Oh,
That changes everything.
that changes everything. Well, she has it wrong on the one sheet.
What, the agenda?
Yeah. It says Kelly. Okay, Kelsey. I'll get it wrong before the night's over anyway, so it won't make any difference. Okay, Nicole.
tonight, makes sense, as we get plan commission right after this at 6 o'clock, so. Welcome to the two alternates. Let me know if you have any questions as far as going through the process and everything like that. As we go through the slideshow and the staff report. So this is the only case for BZA this evening. It is for a front yard setback for an accessory structure. So as they have been working with us as far as where to put it, the property is a little constrained. And this is of course why BZA is created. Honestly, their site is the perfect example of why this process is creative. So they're asking for a reduction of 12 feet, that way it would be at 55. It's, when you look at it, it's about 57 to 56, but we wanted to give a little leeway with that attitude for 55 from the center line of the road. Due to, just in case as they get in there. Also, just to let you know, I did try, so we do have a character clause in our zoning ordinance for this. But as I went through it, I think 65 was the lowest I can get it. For character clause to kind of match, because we do go through, a certain section of the street, we do an average of the distances from the center line of the road. And that's how we configure that, but I couldn't get this one to work, so we came to the BZA, to ask for this request. The zoning of the property is agricultural homestead. It's on Old State Route 3, Old State Road. So the right of way is not different, is different than it would have been as far as if it was made a state road. This is the aerial. So if you look at the aerial, their home is to the east of the property that we're looking at. So their house is here, and then with the garage would be on the other parcel that they own. This is the site plan that has been submitted. So just so you can see where their proposed building, so they're gonna have to take down a couple, you're taking down a couple trees, right? Yeah, 3 trees to do this. And when we get into the look of the property, you'll see that on this here, this is overhead electric lines. So there's a 20-foot easement on that from the RMC. You do? Okay. So there's an easement there, so we can't get in. We try to keep people out of that. The only way is Duke gave permission. So that is one of their constraints. And then the other one is when we look at the site inspection photos, that property about where they have that, it starts dropping off in the rear of the property. So it makes it a little harder to use the lot and try to get without requesting a variance on it. This is what the structure will look like. The 2 garage doors would be facing the house, and the porch area is kind of facing the back, right? Yeah. And that's how it will be situated on the property. And as we go through the inspection photos, this is looking east on Old State Route 350, and then looking west on Old 350. Their property is over here where the barn would sit, off to this side here. And then as we look at the picture, say the barn would sit in this area here. You can see a few stakes that are in there of how they put that in. But if you can see about right there is the ridge where that slowly goes down. And then you can also see the overhead electric lines, which are not service lines to a house. These are the higher set of electric lines than just a service. So they do have some real constraint on that. And this is just close up into the property with some of the large trees that have to be moved. And this is looking towards the neighbor's house that's towards the west. And then again, just looking at the house, you can see one of those stakes here for the front of the building. And then this is looking from where the garage would be, towards the road and across the street. So as I go through the staff report, also on this and looking, so when we do front yards, depending on what that distance is, we also take into consideration, any site distance that may, come up with this. This one does not have any site distance, even with, and the reason why we looked is just because of the curvature of the road to ensure, the safety for, the property and the pole barn. So we did take a look at that. And then if the variance is approved today, they would be able to come back in to get their location improvement permit to get started. On this, there were 6 letters that were mailed out, all 6 were delivered. And then on the end of the staff report are the criteria for the board for standard development variance. And then you should also have in your packet, a letter from the property owners. Does the board have any questions for me?
You received any, or any comments from neighbors or anything?
No, but we didn't, it's any emails or phone calls.
But they are on septic.
Yes. And their septic location is behind their house.
And it's down in the valley.
Mhm.
Then I just had a clarification. On the staff report, it indicated that it would be 41-foot reduction. But then it also references the 12-foot reduction, so the 12-foot was from the character
Yes,
setback, and
Yes.
then how was the original, the 41-foot reduction, how is that calculated in the? under the
so,
code?
instead, it is, the setback is, 70 feet. I think 70 feet for agricultural homestead with with the, accessory structure. It would be 110% of that primary structure setback, therefore it would be 77. Square, or 77 feet from the center line of the road is how we measure it. And we measure it from the center line of the road because not all our right of ways are consistent. So it's hard to put that in a consistent way.
Anything more?
Well, of course I do.
I know, that's why I was waiting for you.
How many buildings in the general area are not meeting our full setback? Is it a dozen, half dozen, 5, 2?
Yeah, I can pull up the email to be able to tell you, because I did do the calculation and I did send it to the, property. Oh, here it is. So if we're looking at the 77, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 out of 14.
I was gonna say, it seemed like there was a lot when I was out there today.
Well, on one of the aerials, like the neighbor, I don't know if there's a residential difference or residential setback difference, but it looks like the neighbor to the west is awful daggone close to the road too.
Yes. So the neighbors to the west, and then there's another garage, also, to that effect. And really what I did is even taking some of the large distances out, just as you would do for any calculation. But the lowest one, so we got, one that's 47. So in this variance and why I think it, makes sense for this to be in front of the board. And that we would, support the approval of this. We have 1 of 47, 1 of 53, 48, 50, 52. So all within, or, what they're asking for.
Yeah, cause the one house had a concrete driveway that
Yeah.
didn't look like there was enough room to park the car for
And
the
this
garage.
property in the surrounding area, especially on that northern side of the road, it does drop down.
Real quick.
That's why all homes were kind of built closer as well. It's just, unfortunately, I wasn't able to obtain a character, what the character clause is in the zoning ordinance. And if I had full access to make over decisions for the zoning, this would be one that I probably would have granted if I was allowed.
Anybody else have anything?
No, sir.
Okay. We need both of you to open public discussion.
Till we hear from the applicant.
Oh, the applicant, oh. I'm just trying to speed things up.
I know you are.
Okay, for the applicant, you have anything, would you go up there and state your name for the
But I'm
record?
here to be the human rain delay.
Maybe that road, oh, I feel tonight.
You have anything else to add or anything you'd like to say?
Not particularly, if we went back to the pictures, I could show you which of the trees we're thinking about taking.
Three
down.
pine trees?
And the neighbor's house there. Yeah, that one to the west there, that's the one that's actually like 50 feet to the road, so we set back a little bit farther than what that house is. That tulip tree there, that first tulip tree off the road, it'll stay, the 2 pine trees, and then that may be what would go. And that tulip in the back was the electric line. That would stay. You're here.
And then two, though, yeah. Three,
Yeah. That's
okay. Anybody have any questions for the applicant?
Thanks for going through the process.
Yes, I do.
Oh, wait a minute, he's got one.
You're gonna access the barn off your existing driveway? Just want to make sure. That's all I wanted to know.
Okay, thanks. Now we'll open it up for public
Motion
discussion.
to open public discussion?
Yeah. I have a motion. I have a second.
Second.
I have a motion and a second, open public discussion. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I don't see anybody here.
Motion to close public discussion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second, close public discussion. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Okay, board, what's your pleasure? I don't have a problem with it after seeing the area.
Yeah, based on the explanation as to why the variance is needed, I think it's pretty clear based on the pictures. And everything else is kind of one of the things that kind of have to, so I'd move to approve the variance.
I'd second.
I have a motion and a second to approve a developmental standard variance for a reduction in front yard building setback for an accessory structure.
We don't want to put a condition on there that that access to the barn has to be through the current driveway.
You want to put a condition that it goes through the current driveway?
You have any intention of accessing it any place else besides the current driveway?
the garage doors are facing towards the house.
So I'm guessing you'd have to like gravel or something to get it through the front.
Probably like a concrete pad outside of it, but that's what it's.
I can amend my motion to reflect that. This contingent on that, it's not like that's their intent, but
Okay,
I understand why.
I'll second the amended motion.
yeah, I have a motion and a second for the amended motion. Anything else?
No.
For a development standard variance and a reduction of front yard building setback for an accessory structure at 8434 Old State Route 350. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? So ordered. Come down to the office and get your building permit. Have fun.
But I don't think there's anything else to say about the December meeting. Just.
What was the date on that, Andy? I think you gave it to me, but I couldn't remember. It's the 9th.
Many days.
I couldn't think of it.
December would be December 9th.
At 6.
It's 6, it's on my calendar.
Okay.
January would be January 13th. And, yeah, Andrea said either or, she just, her daughter has so many, she didn't want to miss both of them, so she would like to go to one of them.
Yeah, and thought was the one in January probably be more important for her
Yes.
to be here. We have I think there's a cell tower.
Cell tower, yeah.
So,
What I was
yeah,
told.
Alan, if you want to plan on being here in December, we'll put that item on the agenda for first. And then Ruth Ann will be here also, and she'll be able to sit in.
Sit in for the rest of the meeting. So I think they said there's 6 cases.
5 or 6 for December, and then there's possibly like 4 or 5 for the same for January.
Okay. Also,
So, and I just want to, also when we look at it, just as procedural, when we get into the January meeting, because of the cell towers and our experience with those and the length of those meetings. I think the last one that we had, we were here till 12:30.
AM, I'm assuming.
Yes. So if we do have that many cases. And how we do it is whoever's first in that line, we put them first on the agenda. And they were technically first, I believe.
the cell tower was.
Yeah, so depending on what we're looking at, time frame. Is we also have it in our ordinance that if it gets to 10:30 at night, we are not to start any new cases just to avoid. Getting into
3
that.
o'clock in the morning.
So if necessary, we might call a special meeting. Just to get those cases. If time frame allows it. But when we get into that, we may, by December, I'm gonna have Gina bring. An alternate date for everybody to check, just so we can put that in the notices as well. Because no one liked being here till 12:30. So. Technically, no, we can probably get out of here till 1 o'clock, by the time you empty the room and everything like that, so. And then we would, because of alternates, we would still send you guys would still be, added to, the emails. So that you do get the information in case it's, you are needed. That way it's not just sprung on you, but you at least have the information.
Okay. I was told you're just makes this front sheet up.
For,
Mark is not the vice chairman. Russell is.
she didn't use the right one. I've changed
Well,
it.
Oh, you did change it.
Yeah,
Well, you got blamed for it last month or last meeting.
yes,
Okay,
so I did change it,
okay.
but if she doesn't use the,
I just wanted to bring that up because that way, when the minutes come out, it will be right.
I will let her know,
Okay. Anything else?
except.
German's in order.
A motion to adjourn?
Do I have a second? Meeting adjourned.
We.
You'll have a good evening. Grandson, I thought the ball game, but I'm not going to it now. It's supposed to be in St. Lawrence. I could have made that one. Oh, yeah. I'm not staying. No, I know, but
No, the basketball game's on hold.
see you. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's not over, but by the time I drive down there, it'd be almost over. I already told him I wasn't coming. That, I don't think you'll get to play much anyway. 15 kids on.
Oh. Okay, so.
It's great school, 5th graders.
Okay, what I'll do is I'll have, those be next month, but what I'll do is I'll check. Make sure nothing came through, if nothing came through, I'll have to leave some money.
Have fun at your next meeting.
Okay, all right, thank you guys.
I need to at least peruse it. I guess I should have, so probably off TV. I'll see it.
Yes.
I've said it before, I think there's stuff that we routine, then we should not make it. Yeah.
But how would you do that as far as?
You have to go back, you have to go back and do an audit of all your GZA
Yeah.
and see what.
Well, this one is because of, so. There's a reason why they needed to be posted, like. It was so blatant. That. I was hoping that the calculation would work. But it's also not really in like nuances or.
For the
vice
product,
versa.
yeah.
Yeah, like. And they were coming in front of the house, that I, like.
Yeah,
if they were- If their house was closer, I would,
If it had been even with before the full mark.
I could have, yeah, like I could have. Yeah, I don't know, that one I just. I wish
Did
I
they ever, city sewer, was that, that would be down there or bottom of the big hill?
Yeah, they did, they ended up running it. 350 and down.
I think it's any changes.
How many people did
Did
they
we
hook
trip
up?
us off? My,
I guess my question is, did you ever hook that old guy up, the old, guy? That house looks nice.
Found it, and then, and
This
the
house-
still get hooked up, didn't.
Oh, they did,
I
okay.
think it's patchy.
But I can't put it myself.
Well, that's.
Like the battery
You
died.
looked